hello friends, and also, hello enemies. Welcome back to Weekly Allowance, the world's only YouTube channel. And surprising no one, today we are looking at Mezco's new Doc Nocturnal. So, for those who follow Mezco, who follow the Rumble Society, you'll know that Doc Nocturnal is kind of like a Barbie type character in that he takes several forms. He's got a lot of different fits. He's got a lot of different iterations of himself. And this is the new one. It seems to be some kind of medieval Doc Nocturnal, so I'm interested to see what that's all about. This is Doc Nocturnal Phantom Nights, as you can tell right there, because it says so. So the package illustration is always really nice for these. Really nice artwork all around. Here's the top. Kind of get an idea of what he's gonna look like. The side is really cool. You got that same illustration extended on the, well, I guess, I don't know what is the front and what is the back. I guess this is the bottom, because the box is supposed to go like this. So I've got it in the wrong orientation, but that's okay. The point is you're seeing the box. That's the important thing. And you've got another really nice, like, comic booky type illustration wrapping around. You can see he's fighting these female demons that have wings and no lower half, just their intestines poking out, which is an interesting choice, and I'm not going to talk about it too much because that's not why you're here. But from what I understand, this is kind of like a medieval Doc Nocturnal, you know, like medieval European. And this type of demon is more in like Southeast Asian folklore. I don't recall medieval European mythology having this, you know, winged female demon with the bottom half missing. But anyway, that kind of creature is like a vampire type creature. So it could be that this is just a Doc Nocturnal that mainly focuses on vampires. Either way, he's hunting supernatural creatures of some sort. But yeah, he certainly looks from the illustration more medieval European vibe than like Malaysian. Not that I'm against mixing mythologies. I think that's a cool choice. I think that was a cooler choice to use those in like a standard, you know, like medieval demon or just like a dragon or whatever. But those would be cool too. This opens from the bottom here. Well, we got more of those vampire type ladies. They're just trying to live their lives, you know? And again, I keep wanting to shout out the art on all these packages because it's amazing. You're gonna see the rest when I open it up all the way, but I love this. I love the grain on this image. And then if you look right here, you see him slaughtering his way through a bunch of like goblin type little guys. He is just wrecking them. Looks like he's in heck of some sort. And as usual with these figures, there's like an insert with more art on it, just an embarrassment of art. It is worth noting that these normally come with a comic book, and I look forward to those, but no comic book this time, unless there's one hidden away in here. Comic books are always a delight. Nope, no comic book. Let's take a look at this art, though. Fighting more little gobs and more sassy ladies. Got his work cut out for him. It looks like he's doing pretty well, though. There's a lot of blood. And we'll take out the clamshell. There should be more art hidden below all that. All right. Yep, you've got more gobs in the foreground. Looks like a baby goblin. The proportions on that thing are crazy. I don't like it. I don't care for that. That's, it creeps me out. I guess that's the point. But yeah, looking cool as usual. Doc Nocturnal started out as, and I guess is kind of continuing on as like a pulp hero, like a stereotypical, well, I don't want to say stereotypical, like a an iconic pulp hero. Got our clams. That's what I'm going to call clamshells from now on, even though the important part of this is the shell and not the clam. So I was seeing that some of the people who got these figures, I think most notably people in China, like from the ones that have been sitting in a Chinese warehouse, they were kind of moldy. So I'm hoping our guy isn't moldy. I don't think he is. Looks good so far. Let's take everything out. Take our delightfully mold-free man out. You'll notice right away that if you're familiar with Doc Nocturnal, he is not like the other Doc Nocturnals, and of course we will talk about that. That's why we're here, to talk about things. If you didn't want to hear me talk about this figure, I don't know why you clicked on the video. I'm glad you're here though. You are more than welcome to stay. Alright, so yeah, this is a much different look than we have normally seen from Doc Nocturnal. For a while we were only seeing him with the skull mask, and then we got to see what was underneath the skull mask, and it was a desiccated, like, zombie head. This guy is human, it seems. He's just Chad McMahon. He's Guy Duderson. This is just a bro. Yeah, interesting. I don't know what kind of story they're trying to tell, because it's a good face sculpt. It's a nice head sculpt, but it just looks like it could be anyone. And maybe that's the point, is that he starts off as kind of like an everyman, or maybe it's more like a fantasy, like a self-insert fantasy of like, oh, that could be me. I don't know. Just something about his face is just like kind of generic. And I wonder if that was purposeful to like story-wise, or to make him more appealing for fans of Doc Nocturnal. Because I was very surprised that they showed a human face sculpt. I guess this is how he started out, or this is just this particular iteration of him. And I was surprised that it was just like kind of a milquetoast looking dude. Just like nothing remarkable about him. So yeah, that was a surprise for sure. It's got heavy like Assassin's Creed vibes from the head sculpt down to the costume. Very like gothic medieval type armor. Just like with the other Doc Nocturnals, you're keeping the skull and spiderweb motif. It just does seem like this is the beginning of the Doc Nocturnal story. But then you can look at it as like, is he evolving through the ages, or is this just, an insular story, like the multiverse of Doc Nocturnals? This is just one of them. I tend to think, like I said in the beginning, that it's like a Barbie type situation. There's just a lot of different ones doing a lot of different stuff. And my favorite will always be the very first one, because it was kind of subversive. It was a smaller body, a skinnier body, very pulpy, just a really cool design. Yeah, so kind of a ho-hum like design on the head, even though it's sculpted and painted really nicely. But the costume looks really awesome, hitting all those Doc Nocturnal beats, but in a different style. Tiny sculpted details, impeccable paint as always. Look at the detail on that gauntlet. And the other gauntlet is different. I love when a design is asymmetrical, even if it's just in a small way like that. Let's look at the boots. Yar, matey, pirate type boots. Tattered clothing. So of course you don't have to have the dude bro head on. You do, but you don't have to have it visible, because he comes with this very interesting mask. It kind of has like Punisher vibes, I think, just because the teeth are like this. And it's got like angry eyebrows. So this mask goes over his face, so you can see his eyes through it. Very cool look. And then of course you've got the hood. Yes, this is more like it. This is my boy. I don't want to know what your face looks like, Doc Nocturnal. I'd want you to be a mystery. Your mileage may vary, but I like it when you've got a mysterious character that never shows his face. So being a Mezco, he's going to have excellent articulation. It might be a little bit hindered by the outfit. I believe you can take this harness off if you want to get more articulation. Looks like underneath we've just got like a blank body. It's interesting because the body seems to be Caucasian flesh colored, and then this forearm is gray. So I don't think you're ever meant to see that rolled up. But there it is, so easily rolled up. A little bit hindered in the middle, but these pauldrons move out of the way. This is an overlay with more soft goods underneath it, so you don't get any stretching. You get a little bit more allowance in the fabric than you'd think. It's just in the middle where it's a little bit tight. It's a little bit difficult, just because you've got all this stuff, all the soft goods kind of converging. And then cinched off with this harness and this belt. But yeah, Mezco's always fun to pose, and especially Doc Nocturnal is usually fun to play around with. And you've got so many varieties of him, and I'll bring those in later. These soft goods are wired, every section of them. And then I like that you can kind of see the tunic piece underneath. He's not only wearing this overcoat type thing, but this tunic that's also a little bit asymmetrical. And this over piece and the harness kind of bulk him out a little bit. I think if you were to take those off, he would be a little bit skinnier underneath, but he's still a muscular, like larger, bulky male body, not like the first Doc Nocturnal. Which again, I think it's a shame they haven't reused that body for Doc Nocturnal, because I really liked it. I mean, maybe not this version, but in other versions he's a zombie guy, so it makes sense that he'd be kind of scrawny. You don't really see them packing on muscle that much. But yeah, easy to pose, fun to pose. And I'm not super worried about breaking anything or tearing anything, which is great. because sometimes I do worry about that, especially with higher end figures. So another thing about this character is that he tends to come with the same kind of accessories, just like different takes on the accessories. They're all the same sort of weapons, but different styles depending on what style he's in. So it's no different this time. And like most Mezcos, he comes with a lot of stuff. A lot of neat stuff. Typically, when I do the accessory segment for Doc Nocturnal, I put on some silly music. I do a silly, like, pulpy voice, make everything black and white. But this guy isn't really pulp. He's like a medieval dude. And I don't want to put on a really bad, like, medieval British accent and offend anyone from across the pond who might be listening, because it would be bad. So let's go through this. You've got a war hammer. It's a vicious-looking weapon. Got the skull on there. As always, great paint, because you've got a lot of different texture and, like, inlays, different metals, leather wrapping on this pole. As always, just impeccably done paint. Cool broadsword. Very spiky guard. Ooh, very spiky. You could actually legitimately hurt yourself on that. So be careful. Again with the skulls. This guy in skulls, he's got a thing. I guess he knows what works. So that's not the only sword you get. You also get this rapier. Very intricately designed. I mean, would you expect anything less from Doc Nocturnal? And you get a sweet sheath for it. Shoop. Oh, that's satisfying. Very cool. The broadsword is neat. I like this. So it does say on the website that you were supposed to get a sheath for the broadsword. I do not see one. I don't see it in the accessories anywhere. Oh wait, here it is. It's just not a conventional type of sheath. It's like a mini sheath. And it's in the shape of a skeleton hand grasping a sheath. Extra. Super extra, this guy. In every version of him, he's extra. Look at that. I mean, that's cool. Sometimes it pays to be extra. We've got 2 spiked crucifixes for vampire hunting, I assume. The ferryman, which is a standard Doc Nocturnal gun. He's always got some version of this, the ferryman. This one comes with a removable magazine, and not only that, you get an extra one in addition to that. So in case you lose this one, which is possible, because it's very small. Double-bladed dagger, really wicked looking. Lots of detail on that. Hades Inferno grenades, so we're looking at really old-timey grenades. The design on these is really cool. Another skull, but it's easy to miss if you're not looking at it closely. The Inferno grenades is another standard issue weapon in Doc Nocturnal's Noirmery. You get 2 of these little daggers. They are very small. Minimal design, minimal paint. You also get a whole bunch of hands, some hooks to hang the accessories from his belt on, and this second harness / belt thingy, which can also be used to hold weapons. And other than that, you also get, as usual, a nice stand. So it's still got the plastic on it. A nice stand with the box illustration on it. It's got this little peg. Or you can pop out the peg and affix it with this plastic see-through arm. So you got options. And to finish it all off, as usual, a nice little bag to put all the accessories in. Taking off the hands and reattaching new hands is really simple and easy. Just pop out. This is a little bit rubbery, so I'm not worried about breaking that peg, which is super nice. So you can attach the rapier to this little area on the belt. And then I believe this can be plugged into the back. Right here where the harness attaches. So it's a broadsword, it's going to be big. So he's got 2 swords. In addition, I touched on this, but where'd it go? There are these little hooks, and you use those to clip onto the back of the belt. And then from there you can attach these grenades. Or even the ferryman gun. In addition to that, the hands themselves, the fingers are also nice and rubbery, malleable. So I'm not worried about breaking anything. I'm not worried about having to pry them open to get the weapons into his hands. Yep, he looks really cool. A lot of sword action going on with this Doc Nocturnal. Lots of sword action, which I think is great. I welcome it. This is Madison from the future, just popping in to show you guys something. So this is an example of an alternate look you can get with this Doc Nocturnal. Just remove the harness, remove the belt, and then he's got this cool overcoat. Put the belt underneath that, and then, as I was saying, you can use these clips to attach the weapons and the bombs and things like that. And then you've got the secondary, like, more compact harness or more understated harness that can carry the weapons. And it looks really awesome. Not only that, but there is a dedicated slot inside each of his boots for these little baby daggers. It's hard to see because it's so tiny. But yeah, it's built into the boot, basically. Each boot will have a little slot for a baby dagger. So that's another way you can load him up with weapons. Patrick arranged this look while taking photos, and I just thought it looked awesome. And we also wanted you guys to know about the little baby dagger holster, which is why I'm plopping this in the middle of the video. So hopefully that is helpful. And back to wherever we were with the video. Fun figure. Again, as always, with lots of accessories. I love how extra this is, how ridiculous it is. Ridiculous in a good way. It's a little bit stupid, but in a really cool and entertaining way. Most things are pretty stupid, but only a few things are stupid in cool and entertaining ways. So yeah, he is awesome. I'm going to get some figures to compare him to. We're going to look at him next to some other Doc Nocturnals and see how he holds up. All right, here's all our Doc Nocturnals. Several different versions of him. This is the first one. This is the second one with the updated body, kind of a thicker, larger body. This is a relatively newer version of him that came with the Yeti. And here we have our new guy. So you can see the visual theme running across them. Always skulls, always spiderwebs. And yeah, this was the first one. I've said it several times, and I'll continue to say it, is that I really like this skinny body. It's just kind of a subversion of what you picture when you think like pulp hero, or really just even hero in general. Kind of skinny, kind of scrawny. I don't know. I just like it. I like this really simple design. Not that these aren't awesome, but just so simplistic and yet striking. But ever since then, we've been using the updated larger bodies for Doc Nocturnal. Maybe one day we'll return to this slimmer body. And yeah, none of these guys, except for the new one, has a human head. It's all gonna be zombies under their red eyes, as you can see through the mask. But yeah, it's kind of fun seeing them all lined up together, just all the different versions. There might be a couple versions we're missing, but yeah, that's how he stacks up to those guys. So since he was fighting goblins in that art, here is a Mythic Legions goblin. Mythic Legion skews a little bit bigger, but I think that's fine, especially if it's like a monster type creature. A little bit big for a goblin, but still, you know, still in goblin territory. Looks really good. He would for sure stab this gob. I don't know what he's doing with his hands. Maybe he's saying, like, yeah. Here is Biblical Adventures Medieval Demon. Very scary. Much bigger than, well, I wouldn't say much. A little bit bigger than Doc Nocturnal. We do not have one of those intestine vampire ladies in figure form, so these other kind of creatures will have to pick up the slack. Here's another Mythic Legion. This is a skeleton builder. Lots of different creatures for Doc Nocturnal to fight. And as always, Wasteland Neil. Wasteland Neil gets sucked into a time portal, ends up in the medieval period. On Earth somehow. Is he going forward in time or is he going backward in time? You know, Star Wars takes place in a galaxy far away a long, long time ago, so I guess he's going forward in time, which would be to our past, but his future. But not really his future, because he'd be on Earth. It would be the future of a different planet. Think about that for a minute. So yep, always a fan of Doc Nocturnal. Was a fan from the very beginning, was an OG Doc head. He's a really cool character. Kind of missing the comic book that didn't come with this one, but that's okay. We still got a lot of cool art in the box. Got a cool figure, lots of really neat accessories. So let me know what you guys think of the new version of Doc Nocturnal. What do you think of that human head? Kind of throws me off still, but everything else about it is really awesome. So as always, likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome, and I will see you guys on the next one.